Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken and Ken take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars on the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken and Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. We live and loud, that break in the mud. Ken and the bold. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploded like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're a force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Ken and Ken in the morning. I'm the sick version of Ken, and that's the healthy version of Ken. How you doing this morning, Ken?
Oh, not too bad. I mean, I don't know if I'd classify myself as healthy, just non-sick.
There we go. I'd like to welcome some new fan bases on X to the show today. As I'm still sending out to everyone else. Welcome to Cowboy Nation, Saints fans, Browns fans, Finns fans. Yeah, a couple more groups. HTTR is out here today. The Bengals are out here today. Unfortunately, the Packers are, but they're always here. We can't get rid of them. We try, but
Nope, there ain't no getting rid of Packer fans, buddy.
Yeah. So Packer fans are getting a little happy today.
Yeah, I was going to say it exploded last night that there's more rumors about Micah Parsons to Green Bay. Even some of the insiders have now at least mentioned it. You have Kay Adams, John Kuhn, and either Andy Herman or something like that. They're mentioning it. We haven't gotten anything from Schefter or Rappaport, so it's definitely not concrete yet. But there's a possibility.
Well, there's a possibility I can win the Powerball today.
Yeah, but that's a low probability.
No, I'd say it's about the same as what you got to get Micah Parsons.
Oh no! We got a few percentage points with this one.
How do you figure?
With everybody that's talking about it, it's not just these random sites or accounts that are mentioning it. That okay, if it was just them, I put it as real low probability. But now that we're getting more of these people that are actually in the loop that are starting to talk about it, I think we got some legs here.
So, good morning, Joe. So, hey, just so you know, the Packers think they're getting Micah Parsons because people are talking about it online.
Yeah, especially Packer fans are talking about it online.
Some of the insiders are talking about it now too.
I've seen a bunch of Packer fans in the NFC North trash talk group. Like, they really think it's like imminent, like it's about to happen. So we'll see.
Well, the same guy that broke the news about Adam Thielen returning to Minnesota is the guy that broke this news. Again, I'm not saying this is a smoking gun, but it leads at least a little bit of credibility to it.
I don't know how that Adam Thielen returned to Minnesota. So, I mean, he's got to be. Oh, wait. Adam Thielen's not even close to going back to Minnesota. Never.
The trade
just reached the deal. Yeah, they just reached a deal today.
They did. I know. I'll give you full credit.
They're swapping a bag of chips and a sandwich.
Yeah. The problem is Micah Parsons isn't Adam Thielen.
Well,
and here's
I think that he's not.
Here are the other problems. Micah Parsons is under contract with his 5th-year option. Jerry Jones said, I have 3 years to figure this deal out. Micah Parsons said, I will still play under my 5th-year extension because I want my game set. So,
He's also said that he has no problem sitting out too.
so it depends on who you want to believe.
That's what he says. But sitting out does something to you. Look at I can give you 2 perfect examples. Le'Veon Bell first and Deshaun Watson. Look at Deshaun Watson.
Well, he didn't get to sit out on his own choice.
No, but my point is when you take time away from the game in your prime, you never come back the same. So I don't think that Micah's really he's posturing that he's willing to sit out, but I don't think he's really willing to sit out. But eventually it becomes the thing where does Jerry just decide, you know what, I'm just over the headache, and I mean, the package that the Packers are offering is more than reasonable.
So here's the thing. Here's what started all of this. It's amazing what just 2 seconds of research will do. This all started because of Kuhn, right? That's your starter, right?
No, it didn't start because of him.
Kuhn does a post last night, and he works for Packers TV Network, he works for Packers TV Network, and he tweets 3 words: Micah freaking Parsons. And that gets everyone else talking about how there's going to be a trade to include the guy that broke the other trade. So this is all predicated on a Packers TV analyst tweeting 3 words: Micah freaking Parsons.
That tweet came after Ricky Scoops' post.
Well, if this trade is so imminent, like we haven't seen Schefter say anything about it.
That's why I'm saying it's not a smoking gun.
There's a plane, Joe. There's a plane that left from Wisconsin going to Dallas.
Well, there's a private plane that went from Green Bay straight to Dallas. Granted, again, not a smoking gun, but hopefully for that one.
That's a legit scoop. There's a private plane that went
I can send you the information of it right now.
Oh, you have that plane tracker app? We need to be careful with that. You remember, maybe I don't know if you're on Patriots.win, but people have been going crazy with that plane tracker thing. Yeah, Mike is wearing green underwear.
Yeah, it does keep the rating system in our mouth. That's for sure.
Man, that'd be great. Private plane from Dallas to Vegas.
Minus the rumorville this morning, which has Ken think he needs to go buy new drawers at the store. Oh God, who's calling me? No.
It's Micah Parsons calling you to tell you he's coming to Green Bay.
Now let's from Centerville, Mississippi, and is a junk call. But let's talk some rosters. So the Bears, and I have to eat a little crow here. The Bears are kept 3 quarterbacks. I was for certain that they were going to cut Case Keenum and only roll with 2. Very surprised that the Bears went with 3 quarterbacks. I'm happy with the wide receiving room of DJ Moore, Almighty Zacchaeus, Luther Burn III, Roma Dunze, Devin Duvernay, and then we also got where are they at? And then we also kept Jahadi Walker as well. So I'm very happy with that. The running back room with DeAndre Swift, Rojo, Homer, who I thought should have been cut, Kyle Monangi and Deion Hankins, which was interesting. But I'm even happy with what they kept on the line. The backups are Ozzie Trapillo, Luke Newman, Ryan Bates, Kieran, and Theo Benedict, which I'm happy with what the Bears roster looks like. I'm not so happy that on the defensive line, though, there's no one behind Gervin Dexter and Andrew Billings. That does not make me happy. But overall, I was a little surprised by what the Bears did with keeping. And then, yeah, another one, Isaac. Amari Cooper, I was surprised he resigned, and I was surprised that they got Kenny Pickett out there in Vegas yesterday and did that. Actually, no, every team does not keep 3 QBs. Last year, only 17 did man hour. So for the Bears, this is a shift. Most teams actually keep 2. Half the league, about half the league keeps 2. So
Yeah, because the third one doesn't count against the 53.
well, no, it does. They changed it back. It was only that
Oh,
one.
did they?
Yeah, then it went back.
Uh,
So, I was a little surprised. I thought because you look at the other quarterbacks who were cut, you could have cut Case Keenum and gotten away with it. You know what I'm saying? Like people were going to bang down his door to get him. But let's see here. More than a bag of chips, but Quezzy's better. All right. So yeah, a little perplexed. There interesting cuts by Chicago yesterday too. A couple of Bill Murray, Doug Kramer were cut. Tyler Scott, I was not surprised. Zach Pickens a little bit, but not much. Right now, still my biggest surprise cut for the Bears is the guy they cut the day before, which was Wheeler, which I hope he makes the practice squad. What about you, Joe? What about your team?
well, once they got Kenny Pickett, it kind of the writing was on the wall for Cam Miller. They cut him, so I'm hoping that he ends up on the practice squad. I'm hoping nobody claims him, because he definitely needs work. But I saw I saw some flashes in the preseason that okay, this guy can throw the ball, but then he had a really bad game in the last game. Not really bad, like he didn't throw a bunch of interceptions, but just his completion yards per completion was like 5 yards per pass, and it was bad. Yeah, well, AOC's on the IR for like 6 to 8 weeks, so I don't know, but they got Pickett, and I mean, as much crap as I give Pickett, I think he might be a clear upgrade over AOC. So
Yeah, I think it might be an upgrade. What about you, Ken? What about the Packers? What do you think about their cuts?
Most of the cuts went exactly how I expected it. The only thing that I wasn't a big fan of, okay, let me rephrase that. The only thing that I didn't understand was us cutting Kalen King. He seemed to be making more progress as a cornerback, and I would have liked to have had him on the active roster. Now, hopefully we can get him on the practice squad, but that one I think is going to be a little iffy. And the Canadian kid, we cut him, which a lot of us figured we were only keeping 2 quarterbacks, but I really want to have this kid around because he's got a lot of talent. He's very, very raw, and he's going to take a lot of seasoning, but hopefully we can get that kid on the practice squad.
Man, I was wondering why you kept your first round pick.
I don't know, because he showed that he's got potential to be a number 1 receiver, and he was a
Because
first
his
round pick.
contract is fully guaranteed. Like that's one reason.
Ken, you're wrong, man. It's not because he's a number 1 receiver. He's maybe a 2 until he proves he's a 1. He's the only receiver in the group whose hands isn't made of concrete right now. That's why they kept him.
And his $20-something million contract is fully guaranteed.
Yeah, that might be another reason. But it's funny because when you look at some of the cuts that happened over the last week, I mean, Skipper, of course, got cut. Dude's 38 years old. It was a matter of time. They cut him 2 years ago and brought him back, so he got an extra 2 years. Great. But Skipper's name is famous now because of the but I reported incident. But look at Clifford, the dog, has been cut. The hooker has been cut. All these great backups who should be the starters by certain people in their fan bases are no more. I mean, I think there's a poetic justice there to the trash talkers who talk trash a lot and don't talk football. The ones who say, "Oh, Hendon Hooker should have been the starting quarterback over Jared Goff. Like, in what fucking world were they ever thinking that? Those dudes aren't on our team anymore. And the same guys who said, "Oh, Clifford should be the quarterback over Jordan Love 2 years ago." Sorry, Clifford's on the unemployment line. Jordan Love's overpaid, but still getting paid. Well, he's overpaid until he proves it, Ken. And you have to admit he didn't earn the money last year.
Oh yeah, man, now you are dead right on that. They can make all these spectacular catches that look fucking great, but the easy ones that are coming right to them, it's just like they paid the popcorn guy in the stands a visit and are still a little buttery.
Hey, do we know that, Donkey Kong? Do we know that for sure?
Well, no, Joe.
I'm pretty sure. Like, I think the Lions have a really decent, less than zero chance of ending up in the basement this year.
Well, no, Joe. We do know that until the season starts, and then when the season starts, they're no longer going to own the North.
Yeah, that's
the North because they're still the reigning division champs. Got it, right? Until they're not owning the division anymore, which will probably happen weeks 1 and 2 when they lose both their division games. Then we'll already know they don't own the North anymore. Yeah, Luca, you heard me right. Yeah, Ken, you heard me right. You know. Yeah, we didn't talk about that yesterday because it popped after the show. You know what, though? Look, honestly, with this whole Kelsey Swift thing, did we not see this coming? They've been dating for 2 years. So let's put
get the bag, bro.
Let's put this in perspective.
Secure the bag, bro.
With your A-list celebrity dating scene, if they date for a year, they usually get married. Sometimes it's 6 months. These two have been going for 2 years. Like, you knew this was coming. It was a matter of time.
If I'm Travis Kelsey, I absolutely refuse to sign the prenup. And man hour, exactly. I knew I liked you for a reason.
But here's the thing. Oh, in past tense. Thank you, Luca. Here's the thing. Like, did you notice though how a couple days before this announcement, he dropped that this could be his final season in Kansas City. And then a couple days later, oh, by the way, I proposed to the most popular singer on the planet, the richest woman in the world. Well, we know what his retirement plan is.
Yeah, he's going to be a backup dancer for Taylor Swift.
Dude, honestly, if I was Travis Kelsey, I would just forego this entire season because you're going to make more money putting a bun in that oven than you are playing football.
Yeah.
I'd be working on little Travis right now.
Joe, is these two are literally putting buns in the oven because they bake together. That's a thing. Like, yeah, that I just thought was funny. Is like, and then you watch if you watch the Kingdom on Disney, Jones was getting the car with his kids. Like, come on, kids, I have Pop-Tarts made by Taylor Swift for you. She literally makes sure Pop-Tarts and gives it to his teammates for their kids. These two love to bake. So he's literally putting buns in ovens, just not the type you're talking about.
Well, he needs to switch those buns real quick.
Oh, God, no.
Oh.
Please,
Man hour, I don't want it to happen, but it wouldn't shock me. Hey, I was going to say man hour's a troll, but he's at least a halfway decent troll.
He's only a halfway decent troll when he says stuff that Ken likes. Let's be honest.
I mean, that definitely plays a factor into it. I'm not going to lie.
Like, if he said Jared Goff was the best quarterback in the North, then he'd hate him. So let's be.
Then he would start sounding like Motown Mitch.
When he says, when he says that Caleb owns that cow pasture in Green Bay, he'll hate him.
So did you guys get Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love to sign your stadium since it belongs to them, or they still waiting to do a ceremony for it?
Actually, you know what, though? You make a good segue there, Ken. Thank you very much. If you guys haven't figured it out yet, the Bears are committed to Arlington Heights. It's funny because throughout this whole ordeal over the last 2 years, there's been no official proclamation. Like they're saying the Chicago Bears, by official this, that, and the other, are doing X, Y, and Z. No. it's been all this back and forth with the city and with Arlington. But if you listen to the preseason, they've pretty concretely said that they are pursuing building the facility with everything that goes along with it in Arlington and breaking ground this year. The biggest holdup right now for the Bears is Governor, I can't find a buffet, I don't like Pritzker, and the state saying, well, we're not going to give any money. We don't care that you're creating jobs and revenue. Go pound sand. We got illegal aliens we need to house. That's basically the fight that's going on right now. But the Bears are, in fact, officially building now in Arlington, and they have committed to that. The city of Chicago is out, and finally the Bears came out and said something. They said the city site is too small. They actually finally came out and said that the site the city gave them is way too small, and that's the other reason why they're going to Arlington. Now, Manauer, the Bengals aren't leaving. They just signed a new 10-year deal in their stadium, and their state gave them money to renovate the current one. So the Bengals, because that's what the city of Chicago, at least the politicians, were saying. Well, if the Bears move to Arlington, we'll just get the Bengals to move into Soldier Field. Like, if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, why the hell would you do that? Because look, now you're going to a bigger market, got it, but you're going to a market where no one's going to care about you because it's a one-city team right now, and you're going to a stadium that the other team is leaving because it's inadequate. So why would you move in? The city, that's the kind of crack the mayors in Chicago smoke, and it's been the last 3. And the new one's a special kind of stupid because, like, not only does he think the Cincinnati Bengals would be willing to move in and do that, he also thinks he has the power to arrest federal law enforcement agencies who are arresting people for breaking federal law. So the city of Chicago the state of Illinois is a hot mess. I feel sorry for the Bears having to deal with that as they try to build a stadium and do something good for the people who still choose to live in that dumpster fire.
I thought Beetlejuice was bad, but this new one is even worse.
Yeah, it is. Manauer, no, I don't think. I mean, look, you bring in an AFC team. Okay, so Manauer posits that Chicago would support a second NFL franchise. No, I mean, an AFC team would be the only option, and we know that. But I think initially it'd be kind of like how the Rams and the Chargers were in LA. Like, everyone went to Rams games, no one cared about the Chargers. And if they start doing well, then yeah, some people will show up. But if they got games at the same time, if they're both at home on a Sunday, guess what? If they're both noon starts, the Bears would have a packed house, and that AFC team would be on blackout because they wouldn't sell all their tickets. Now, 20 years down the road, if they survive that long in Chicago, could that AFC team be doing well? Yes, it'd be like the Cubs and the White Sox. Except the Bears would be the Cubs in terms of fan base, and everyone will love the Bears in Chicago. And that AFC team would be the other team that happens to be in Chicago that no one gives a shit about, like the White Sox.
I don't know. I've heard some pretty diehard White Sox fans.
Oh, they're out there. It doesn't tell you that they're that smart either, because the mayor and the current governor are White Sox fans. That should tell you all you know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they support Illinois teams. How right can they be?
LA is a Raiders city. And you know that because every time the Raiders go down to LA to play, the stadium is more than half Raider fans.
Yeah. So, yeah, Steve, even Yinzer knows. No one in Chicago gives a rat's ass about the White Sox.
Nobody has given a shit about the White Sox since Frank Thomas played for them.
Dude, they won the World Series, and everyone in the city was like, yeah, whatever. Seriously, they won in 2005, and everyone was like, whatever. The Cubs won. Look at the Cubs won the World Series, and it was the 5th largest event in human history. So I'm just saying, no one cares about the White Sox in Chicago, and I don't think anyone would care about an AFC team in Chicago. And then once again, what team is going to move into a stadium that the Bears are vacating because it's not adequate?
Well, I was going to be like that's the talk about another team getting added into the league and going to St. Louis. It'd be the same thing.
What's up, Ronald?
Wait, why would you say it's the same thing? The Dome is actually a good stadium.
Because
You know what would be funny,
part of
though?
what LA was bitching, or the Rams were bitching about, was the stadium that they needed to upgrade it and all this and that, and the city didn't want to pay for it. That's why they moved out to LA.
Well, but they wanted to move. They wanted an excuse to move to LA because when Georgia Fontaine moved the team there, everyone else with the organization wasn't happy that she moved them back to her hometown. The second she passed away, they were gone. They were, that was the excuse. Oh, we want a new stadium and we want an answer now. Oh, you're not going to give it to me right this second that I just asked? Okay, we're out of here. Bye. That's how quickly the thing would happen with the Rams. The state and the city were given literally 5 seconds to agree to their terms, or they were gone.
Well, that, and they were also having a hard time filling the stadium with fans because in St. Louis, they're more of a baseball type of city in that, and it seemed like football was the lowest one on the totem pole there. In man hour, that I'll give you, that was funny and all, but no, just no.
Wouldn't it be hilarious though if the Bears go and build in Arlington Heights and then they do bring an AFC team into Soldier Field and the shithead governor is like, hey, you know what? We're going to put a bunch of public money behind restoring Soldier Field now.
That'd be fucking priceless.
They just did that in the 2000s. That's why it's the spaceship that landed in Soldier Field. Funny story, man hour on the Dome in St. Louis. The naming rights, A.G. Edwards got it, right? The financial company. There's a liquor store chain in St. Louis called Dirt Cheap Liquor. The commercials go, dirt, cheap. They almost won the naming rights to the Dome in St. Louis. It would have been the Dirt Cheap Dome in St. Louis. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, shit, Nizzle. He's going to Canada.
You know what? I know it's not going to happen, but
I was going to say, if you say anything about Parsons actually going to Canada, I'm going to laugh my nuts off.
But no, Ken, seriously, let's think about this for a second. It's not going to happen, but let's say it did. What's to stop a Canadian team from going, hey, Micah Parsons, we'll give you $60 million a year. Come play in Canada this year. Like, really, what are the Dallas Cowboys going to do about it?
The problem with that is I don't think a Canadian team has $60 million to pay him for a year. You got to have more than 5 fans per team to get that done.
Dude, their fan base is pretty big and rabid in Canada, all right?
I was going to say, I have been to Canada multiple times. Let me tell you, I have never, and I mean never, seen one piece of Canadian football merchandise in there. But I saw a whole lot of NFL shit.
But once again, let's not get sidetracked, not the argument. What's to say if they were to be able to do that, and they did do that, what the hell is Jerry Jones in the NFL going to do about Micah Parsons bolting to go play in Canada?
Take him to court because he's under contract?
Okay, but he moves to Canada, so big fucking deal.
I think we're ignoring the big fact here that I don't even think the whole like gross domestic product of Canada is $60 million.
That is true. I mean,
like I guess if like they collected special taxes and everything from every citizen, they might be able to afford.
I was going to say they already tax them through the roof over there. What are they going to do now? We want the 3 pennies you got. Oh wait, they don't even have pennies in Canada. We want the 2 nickels you got in your pocket.
Well, like the NHL actually has a competitor money-wise, being the KHL, right? Some star players have gone to the KHL and made big money over in Europe. But yeah, the NFL doesn't have that. But what would stop an NFL player from saying, you know what, I'm going to go play in the CFL for the year? Fuck you. Seriously. I mean, what are they going to do about it? Yeah. Jerry Jones.
that there's very little notoriety there. Your sponsorships are going to dry up.
Michael Parsons doesn't have any national sponsorships, so like whatever.
Yeah, but he's going to have a whole bunch of local ones.
Well, you get a whole bunch of local ones in Toronto or wherever.
Again, I've never seen a commercial in Canada involving any Canadian football player.
It acts like major cities in other countries don't do sponsorship deals with professional athletes. Like,
they don't. They don't do a good job is putting it out there in the masses that we do here.
Do you watch international sports? NFL players make the least amount of money comparatively speaking.
Compared to soccer,
and some places even hockey.
Yeah, but we're talking about the CFL itself, not other sports or anything like that. The CFL.
Look at this is he's really a soccer citizen. We tear up the internet connection.
You know what, man-hour? It is absolutely hilarious that you say that, because Canada did have an internet issue for a couple of years ago.
Yeah, now it's just upstate New York has it. But no, I mean, look at here's the thing though. Micah Parsons going to a Canadian Football League team would have been like when Beckham went to LA, right? Because no one cared about soccer in LA at the time. No one cared about soccer in the outside of MLS fans. In a greater public, no one cared. And then Beckham showed up and also became a celebrity in the States. Micah Parsons would do the same thing to the CFL in Toronto or wherever.
I think you would need to have Patrick Mahomes go to the CFL to have anything like that.
So that's Messi level at that point. Like you could say that Parsons would be at Beckham level, and then Mahomes would be at Messi level, right? But like we just yeah. Oh yeah. It did wider field, longer field.
Yep. Less downs.
Yeah, different rules. Oh yeah. The wide receivers can take a running start, right? That's one of them too, isn't it?
The Canadian Football League versus the National Football League is like Mountain Dew versus Mountain Thunder.
Well, we know which one Ken drinks.
Yeah, Mountain Dew, like a normal person.
He's got cases of that Mountain Thunder in the backyard.
Yeah.
To go with the bad internet, he lives that close to Canada.
And at least the snow keeps it cold.
Yeah. Oh, geez. So, I mean, I don't know. Let's see what's he saying. Yeah, that was the plane. Is actually was Triple H is setting the plane down. It just happened to be in Green Bay.
Hold on. You can't seriously try and make the argument that Mountain Thunder is way better than Dew. Mountain Thunder tastes like if you opened up a battery and drank the contents of it.
Sounds like Green Bay to me.
I mean, you literally had the perfect scenario to set it up with Detroit with the Flint water and totally whiffed on that.
No, they don't need a setup. They got Flint water. That's where the water sucks, but the tires are good. Come on, man. It's already got its own catchphrase.
Hey, I was going to say, you got to give $1 to JB after saying that.
I know, right? Well, going back to some actual real talk versus the fun we're having, because it is fun, but any big surprises on 53-man roster cuts yesterday from other teams that you guys saw? What are some things you guys saw yesterday? You're like, holy crap, I can't believe they did that.
Oh, the Bills cut in Frank Gore Jr. and them cut in that Laviska Shenault or whatever the hell his name was there. I expected both of those guys to make the team for Buffalo.
Well, and they cut White, the quarterback, who was battling with Trubisky. Now look at this team.
Yeah, I expected that, and so didn't a lot of the Bills fans that I talked to.
I mean, but they were only going to keep two or some thought 3, but yeah, they got rid of him, and I agree with it. Oh, by the way, the waiver wire is out. Let me see. For the Raiders are at 6. The Bears are at 10 on the waiver wire. Let me see. Where are the Green Bay Packers? The Packers are 23. The Vikings are 24, Luca. So sorry, the Packers can snake you. Yeah, so they like to snake you, don't they? What do we think about? We didn't talk about it much, but what do we think of the Adam Thielen trade back to the Vikings as well?
I mean, it makes sense since Addison's going to be gone for the first 3 games. You know, Adam Thielen fits in well over there. He was there for what felt like an eternity. The players love him, and he's got experience with the coaching staff. Good on them.
What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, it seems to me like it's being set up for him to retire as a Viking. Like, I don't know how much he's actually going to contribute this year. He's already, I mean, he's sort of the corpse of Adam Thielen already. But
yeah, I mean, they didn't give up much for it either. I mean, it was a pretty,
yeah, some pick swaps.
Well, I was going to say they did give up a 4th, but they are getting a 5th and a conditional 7th, I think it was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're getting.
Yeah. So, yeah, it doesn't really move the needle too much because of it being a pick swap.
Yeah, Manauer, I kind of agree with you on this. You kind of get the name, but like we even saw him put the ball on the ground in the Bears preseason game they played. But you know what, though? I think he'll get picked up within our team, at least on a practice squad.
Yeah, I was going to say, besides that preseason game against the Bills, I didn't think he did too bad in the preseason as a running back. Now, granted, he definitely wasn't his father or anything like that, but I think he at least had enough potential to where he could have been a bottom roster guy. I'm not saying go out and make him your second running back or anything, but I thought he had enough to make it.
Renfro getting cut actually made my eyes go, really? That one kind of like I think that was a name I didn't expect to see. Geez, Manauer.
Hold on. I wouldn't be surprised if, and this is a big if, you got to walk the dog with me on this one. If JJ absolutely flounders as it, if they tried to bring back Kirk Cousins, especially if they can get Atlanta to eat some of that contract, it wouldn't shock me.
Oh my goodness. I don't know about that, man. I'm happy Terry McLaurin got his extension yesterday. You know what's funny about Terry McLaurin, about Scary Terry? The dude has played through 3 name changes on the team, 3 or 4 head coaches, 11 different starting quarterbacks. He's never had the same starting quarterback for 2 seasons in a row. This will be the first time. He will double his career earnings in the first 2 years of that contract. Really happy for Scary Terry getting that contract yesterday. Well, they need more. Too.
I wouldn't take Kirk Cousins if they gave us a pick to get him.
I hope Hunter Renfrow ends up somewhere.
Wait, what was that now?
I hope Hunter Renfrow ends up somewhere. I hope he ends up on a team somewhere.
Yeah, we know Broski. We've been talking about it.
Because wasn't he a decent number 3 for the Raiders for a while?
Yeah, I mean, really, he could have even been like a number 2. He had one really, really good season where he caught over 100 passes, but he got some concussions, and like he started fumbling, and then it was like that was pretty much it. When McDaniels came in, he got rid of him. But I mean, I wouldn't be against the Raiders picking him back up. I mean, we just went and got Amari Cooper again. Like, I wouldn't be against it if he was like not going to be, our third wide receiver or something. Like, if he was a guy that was going to play sparingly, he could help a team.
Well, speaking of helping, I don't know if this does. The Saints named Spencer Rattler their starting quarterback for the year. And then the Browns, who welcome to the show, we go to Browns Twitter now. They named Dylan Gabriel the backup quarterback to Joe Flacco, or as JB likes to call him, Joe Placid. And Shedeur Sanders will be quarterback 3. Interesting.
I mean, I can see that just for the draft position. You drafted Gabriel before Sanders, and it looks like Sanders needs some seasoning before he can be a real quarterback. Now, granted, at least in that one preseason game, he showed a little promise that maybe it's possible, but he also showed in the other preseason game that there's a long way to go.
Well, someone did try to trade for Jacoby Myers yesterday, but the Raiders turned it down because the team, who's unspecified, they won't say who it was, that team wanted the Raiders to eat Myers' $11 million salary. And Vegas said, yeah, and we don't intend to trade him anyways. But that was interesting news yesterday as well. It was funny because he was like, trade me, and then they go sign another receiver. It's like, yeah, Saints are going to be terrible, Isaac.
I don't believe in Spencer Rattler whatsoever. From what he showed me in Atlanta.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. I wouldn't be surprised.
He said Watson is back by week 7, but we haven't mentioned Watson. Where is Watson on the depth chart, or did they cut him?
No,
I thought he was on IR for the year.
He's on the PUP, yeah.
Oh, he's on the PUP?
PUP IR. He's out for the year, though. I believe the designation's out for the year.
Okay, I was going to say, because if he's on the designated to return, there's a possibility they try running it out there with the molester.
No, he's not on the designated to return. That much I do know. Yeah, it is the PUP, but it's not the designated to return.
I was going to say, if it's the PUP list, that means he could be back.
Isaac, you're killing me, man.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Jacoby and Myers Law Firm. When you absolutely need to fix a game.
So does that mean Jacoby Myers is going to be a referee soon?
Wait a minute, Cam. We don't need to know that you're going to the bath. This is your morning bathroom break. All right, brother?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a good morning pee.
Hey, if your good morning pee is done right, it looks like the Packers colors. It smells just like their team, like piss.
Damn Saints.
Hey, Ken, if you're pissing green and gold, you probably should see a doctor.
More about the gold. It's more about the gold, less about the green.
Just some medical advice here, buddy.
I don't know anyone whose pee stream is 2 colors, man. It should be a good, solid gold.
If you have bladder cancer, it most definitely is 2 colors.
Okay, well, that's good on them. But for us normal people, okay. Look.
See, now that sounds pretty ableist. You mean you're saying people with cancer aren't normal?
Gonna get us canceled, kid.
You know how hard it is to get that one out with a straight face.
Hold on. Breaking news from Adam Schefter. You ready, Ken? Are you ready? NFL is aiming for at least 8. You ready?
Yeah.
Ken. He's on the edge of the seat. Potential 6-game suspension for Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice.
Hey, Ken.
For violating the league's personal conduct policy.
Hey, Ken.
Yeah.
Have you ever been stabbed recently?
It's breaking news from Shefty. I thought it'd perk you up a little bit.
You're a rat bastard, you know that?
Hey,
you know, man, that's not what they mean when they say stuff the bird.
Breaking news. The Huddle Sports Network has been canceled in Chicago.
Yeah. Luca, look it. Now, hold on. We normally leave it going off the rails to guys like Luca, Isaac, and Manauer. All right. Where's it to say that Ken, and Joe can't join in the fun now and then and go a little off the rails and have some fun? I'm sick. So I obviously, as you can tell by my voice. So I have a good excuse for going off the rails today.
And I have an absolutely great excuse of going off the rails. Not only am I freebasing the hopium, I'm mainlining it, putting eyedroppers in my eyes of it. We're going full bore with this shit.
Rasul Douglas went back to the Dolphins.
Yep. Hey, hopefully he does good over there. I always liked Rasul. Don't wish anything against the guy. He played great for us when he was here.
The Raiders cut a running back named Sincere McCormick, and I thought they would cut Zamir White instead. But apparently they kept Zeus. So Sincere McCormick, like, I don't know if he's going to clear waivers or not, but he would be a pretty decent backup running back for anybody. Like, he's, I liked what I saw of him last year. He played a lot. He played a lot when Zamir White was struggling, and McCormick, he didn't do too bad, especially considering how putrid our offense was.
Hey, Chris Godwin, by the way, and Christian Wirfs, both of the Buccaneers passed their physicals yesterday, so it looks like they might be ready for week 1, making things in Tampa look a little bit brighter. Let me see if we got any more breaking Shefty news for Ken. Nope, we don't. Sorry, Micah Parsons still not a Packer.
Give it some time. Hey, man, we can definitely be friends, buddy.
Yeah, but Manauer, once again, why would the Raiders cut Genty in that fully guaranteed $20-some million contract? Come on now.
You want to know what's absolutely hilarious about that? Is I forgot which site it was, but they named Genty the MVP of the preseason.
Well, that's great. That's great. You know what you just got? You just got Mapletron.
I think the MVP of the preseason is ridiculous, but
I didn't say I agreed with it. I was just announcing it.
but that's crazy to say. Call Genty Mr. I can't run forward, especially since he ran forward and ran the fucking 49er cornerback the fuck over.
Yeah, he ran few people. It's like, wait a minute.
He ran Lenoir over and their linebacker. Like, and he had some nice runs during the preseason. I mean, he had some 15, 20-yard runs.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Hey, we're off-season and preseason champs, baby. Don't you forget it. We own the NFL when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say they got to win somewhere.
Hey, look, there's only one team that's beaten the Kansas City Chiefs at home the last 2 years. And in both cases where the Kansas City Chiefs have lost at home, it's been the Bears in the preseason, buddy. Yeah, you know it. You know the Chiefs.
Fucking hey, you got to start popping that champagne then.
I'm telling you, man, we're popping bottles over here.
Fucking going full Birdman.
Oh, that's right. The Lions did win that one game. So since that Lions game, only one other team has beaten Kansas City at home, and it's been the Bears twice. There, how's that for you, Manauer? But I have to admit, so here's the funny thing. I watched the Bears game on Friday with the Chicago Bears call. And then I caught the replay on NFL Network the other night, and it was with the Kansas City call. And you want to talk about night and day way. They're Bears callers. Obviously, they were all excited about the way Jahadi Walker played, the way that 2-minute drill went. And Kansas City guys are like, well, yeah, no, that's a catch. Oh, wow, yeah, that was nice. Well, I guess we lost. They were just like, there was no emotion in their voices whatsoever. It was kind of hilarious. Yeah. Hey, the last time the Bears had a bye week in week 5, they won the division. So, we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, isn't this from the same guy that says history doesn't matter?
I know. That's why I said it, Ken.
Yeah, That was my whole point of saying that.
So you know what's funny, Luca? The UFD, the UDFA, is becoming more. I mean, look at the rosters. The Bears have several UDFAs on their rosters now. You know, I mean, the draft is still important, yes, but when you're every year, I think the Bears added another 2 UDFAs this year to the roster. Well, they did. I think one that they added to the roster up top is Jahadi Walker. He was an undrafted free agent rookie, right? So I mean, guys are making squads, man, being undrafted, and it's a thing in the NFL. And Poles was really kind of the guy who started doing that a little bit with Bajan, right? Bajan was one of the guys in this last crop because, you know, people remind me, but Thielen, yes, Thielen was, but he was the exception to the rule when he did it. Now, every year, UDFAs are making rosters across this league. Jason, don't get his hopes up that high, please. But I mean, the UDFA though, guys, that's a pretty legit thing, man. There are like a lot of good players with the UDFAs right now. I mean, but Luke, a lot of these guys who are UDFAs are coming from smaller schools. There are some that come from bigger schools, but a lot of them are from smaller schools where they're just not getting scouted. No, he doesn't. They were a playoff team before Mahomes took over, the year before, as a matter of fact. But
funny thing is, I really liked the Alex Smith-led Chiefs.
So did I. And I saw an interview with him the other day, and he said after he lost that playoff game, he knew the next day he'd be clearing out his locker because he was going to get traded. And sure as shit, he got traded to Washington. Because he knew it was Mahomes' time. But the way he treated Mahomes is the way you should. He treated him not like the replacement, but like a teammate. You know what I'm saying? And even more respect for him. Like Alex Smith gets all kinds of respect for multitudes of reasons. But that's just another one. Well, I mean, I think the problem is like, you know, do you really have the resources to go to, you know, scout all these D2 schools? You know what I'm saying? Where some of these guys are coming from, or these small D1 schools that they're coming from. You know, I mean, where tape is not readily available on these guys. They were mid, but they were still a playoff team, Yinzer. So, but the UDFA thing, yeah, I know, right? I feel so. Alex Smith, man, and then you got a lot of respect for that guy, though. He was a pretty good NFL quarterback.
Oh yeah, I liked Alex Smith a lot. Hey, one of the whole reasons I'll forever love Alex Smith is that he got the 49ers to draft him instead of Aaron Rodgers.
So, okay, man hours. So Northwest Florida State, which is here in Pensacola, Florida, where I reside, there's a D2 school that has their D1 application in. They are not televised. So how are they scouting? Oh, by the way, the Argonauts were D2 champs, NCAA D2 champs 2 years ago. They're not televised on a normal basis. How are they being scouted? The closest team to us is the New Orleans Saints, 3.5 hours away. Right? So they might be able to scout them if they send someone out. But all these D2s and that, no, man. There's, you know, these guys, 30-plus scouts, dude. How many D1? Could someone please tell me how many D1 schools there are in this nation that play football? 30-plus scouts on the payroll doesn't even cover all of D1.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they do. And like if they do, right? We do know that the scouting departments are broken up into regions. And these folks are responsible for a region of D1 schools normally. And so your scout in the Northeast covers,
maybe all of New York State, Maryland, Baltimore, whatever. They cover an area. No, I understand how it works. And they have a staff of 3 or 4 guys under them, but there are way too many colleges and universities for them to go to. Go ahead, Ken. I know you had something you were going to say.
Mhm.
Yeah, for D1, there's approximately 365 schools.
Yeah.
But
there's no
you do get a shit ton of scouts per team, and if there's any type of traction on a specific player on a team, you got to assume that they're going to be sending a scout there to watch them. And then even if they're not televised, you got to assume there's got to be some type of coaching film.
you have to assume that, yeah.
And for the scouts, how hard is it to be, hey, let me get a couple copies of your coach's film? Oh, okay, buddy, because they know the more connections you have in football, the better chances you have of rising up the ladder of the coaching ranks.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, man-hour, but I don't think they have the manpower to cover all the schools adequately. That's why we're seeing more UDFAs. I mean, teams can only scout so much. And, it's funny because some of the scouts, let's just be honest, aren't that good.
Yeah, it's a very tricky profession. Some guys have mastered it where they're damn near, what the hell, Miss Cleo out there.
Months, yeah. But then you figure, all right, so you're going to maybe 3 or 4 games a week, depending on because not all colleges play on Saturday, and then you're watching 50 hours of film per week. Dude, you're going to miss someone. I'm sorry, even you are going to miss someone. That guy's going to show up as a UDFA somewhere. I mean, it's an impossible task.
Well, that also goes to why they would be UDFAs, because even with having little name recognition, you could have one of the scouts on your team be, hey, this is one of the guys I've scouted. He's not going to get drafted, but here I am banging the table for him.
Today's my day to go to no-name university D2 school, and Ken happens to have a bad game, but the rest of the year he's on fire. But the day I was actually there, he wasn't all that, and I don't follow back because I'm busy looking at this hot prospect at big-name school. So, I mean, there's a little hit or miss, too, when they see them. I have to look at. I mean, the bigger point is UDFA is becoming a bigger thing, which will probably, to your point, might force franchises to put more money into their scouting departments to expand it. But to be honest with you, if I'm a GM and a guy at my 53 is a UDFA, that saved me a shitload of money on contracts.
Mm-hmm.
UDFA cost me a shitload less money than a 5th or 6th rounder or even a 7th rounder did. So that's a good thing for them too. So, yeah. See, I mean, that's just it, So, and that's where some of these guys are becoming, they had their bad game when you were there, but then they go to a tryout, they do well preseason, and next thing you know, they're Tyson Bagent or Jihadi Walker or some of these other guys.
You know what's great, man-hour, is that last comment there, that all that did was remind me of a Tech Nine song. And I know, being a Kansas City fan, you got to listen to some Tech Nine.
And on that terrible last take about Tech Nine, guys, we're out of time. Micah Parsons still is not a Packer. We'll keep an eye on that for tomorrow. Don't forget, we got Hallis Hall tonight, and we got JB's Roundtable, which will be a half hour after the end of Hallis. So Hallis is from 7 to 8, and then at 8:30, JB's Roundtable. We've got a Red Zone rant, too, after Hallis Hall today, if you're so inclined for some good trash talk. Yeah. So keep watching. Today will be practice squads as guys clear waivers. So let's see how it goes.
MMA Maniacs.
And yeah, thank you. MMA Maniacs today at 2 as well. Everyone have a great day. We're out of time. Peace.